Day 2 notes is area of trapezoids, rhombus, and kites. So for example 1, it says round to the nearest whole number, finding the area of this trapezoid. And so these two pieces of information that are 35 and 35, this is extra information. In the formula, it asks for your bases right here, okay? Your two bases are parallel from each other. So base 1 and base 2. And the height is the distance between the two bases. So here I have area equals 1/2 times my height, which is the 32.7. And then I have to add the bases, so 13 plus 38. I would add first, giving me 51. Okay. Then I would multiply the two numbers, and I would divide that by 1/2. And that gives me 833.85. But it does say round to the nearest whole number for this problem. So that would be 834 meters squared. In number 8, or not number 8, I'm sorry, in letter B, again we have extra information. So here on the sides, this is extra. But this was actually a little special. This is your height. Since this right here is creating a right angle to the bases, this is your height between the two bases. Then you've got your base 2 and your base 1. So if I plug that in, I have 1/2 times my height, and then add my bases. So if I add those, I get 20. If I multiply, we get 100. And half of 100 is 50. Okay, in letter C, this is going to use that 30, 60, 90 idea. So as you can see, we're given our base 1 and our base 2. But we don't have a height. We know that this represents the height, but we don't know that length. So what you could do is you could draw your height in here, creating a right triangle. We see we have a 30, 60, 90. Okay. We also know that from here to here, this is 5. So 7 minus 5 makes this part right here 2. Now, this is the short leg. Okay. We need the long leg right here, and that is x radical 3. So, x is 2, so that means that this is 2 radical 3. And that is my height. So, for our formula, I now can fill in what I need to solve for area. So 1/2 times the height was at 2 radical 3, and then the basis is 5 plus 7. So, it says to leave your answer in radical form. So what I would do is I would do 1/2 times 2 is 1 radical 3, and then 7 and 5 make 12 by adding together. And then I would say 1 times 12 is 12, but I still have my radical 3. And that is your answer, 12 radical 3 meters squared. Alright, for area of the kite, it's just 1/2 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. For most of the problems, you're going to have to add the diagonal to get the whole diagonal. So like 3 plus 3 is 6. And then 2 plus 5 is 7. So I would multiply 6 and 7 to get 42. And half of 42 is 21 meters squared. Okay, here's diagonal 1, diagonal 2. So area equals half of 12 times 9. And that would be 108 divided by 2. And that would be 54 inches squared. Okay. And then lastly, for example 3, finding the area of the rhombus. Okay, these are congruent to each other. So these are both 16. And then these are congruent, so they're both 12. So area here is 1/2. 12 and 12 is 24. Times 16 plus 16, which is 32. If I multiply these two together, we get 768. And if we divide that by 2, 384 centimeters squared. Okay, in part B, we're given the diagonals of a rhombus are 16 and 14. Can you find the rhombus area? So multiply, and we get 224. Divide that by 2, we get 112 centimeters squared.